you can see where the oil leak, I suspect, starts in this area. That's your oil pan, and that would be transmission. So I suspect it might be a rear main seal. As you can see where it's been leaking, it's soaking everything towards the back. So that's what we're looking at right there. Subframe is completely saturated. That's a rear engine mount covered in oil, and it just blows all the way to the back. Let's see. You can see where it's getting on the bottom of the I think that's a catalytic converter right there, and then behind that is possibly a muffler. Not sure. Can't see it from all the way back here, but you can see where the entire bottom of the car is wet. That's all oil that's been blowing back there. Well, we got to figure out where this is coming from. I think if I had to take an educated guess, somewhere in here. And there's different causes for that. They say a bad PCV. It's a positive crankcase ventilation valve. Would cause excess pressure inside the crankcase, and it could be causing the rear main seal to fail. What else? Now I thought, see, it's kind of weird to see the oil all the way up this far front of the engine. I'm wondering if it's leaking down from the front side of the engine and finding its way towards the back. So let me do some more investigating, see if I can actually pinpoint where this oil is coming from. So what we're looking at, we're actually up under the engine, looking straight up towards the rear of the engine. So right in front of me is a CV joint from the transmission going over to the right hand wheel. All that metal back there, you see, that's the firewall. But right here at the front of the engine, you can see how wet it is. It's all oil. I think that's leaking from the camshaft cover, and it looks like it's dripping down. But I think that might actually be a separate leak. And here's what I originally thought was the issue. So let's see. See if I can get my hand up in here. That little black box there, that's your diverter valve, and you can see that little bolt there is kind of wet. What I think is happening is, if it is indeed a bad positive crankcase ventilation valve, and it's causing all that excess pressure to build up in the crankcase, but it's also letting oil seep into the intake system, and oil will pool inside that little plastic housing in there. But man, you can see like everything under here is wet. So still trying to find out where it's all coming from. Alright, so what I'm curious to check out is the PCV positive crankcase ventilation valve here. And so to get this out, there's a bunch of bolts. They're actually like little Torx heads. Set them in a separate little box. Them little guys. I think there's more of those holding this thing together than my entire Chevy. So undo all those bolts just to make things a little easier. I went ahead and I popped out 2 of the coil packs. You know, took the coil pack rail off. So really all that should be left, being really careful, because where this assembly goes into there, there's a little stud that likes to break off on these things. Let's see if I can pull it out and show you. There it is there. That little stud likes to break off inside these assemblies. That looks good. We'll set that little guy aside. You can see all the oil that is collected inside there. Let's see. Oh yeah. Make sure you undo this little guy, set that aside. And this whole thing should just pop right off. Butamus camshaft. You can see some lifters down in there. Fascinating fucking science. So anyway, what I wanted to check, the O-ring looks good. I wanted to check this little orange, get some better light going on, that little orange check valve. I heard those like to stick. And then also want to, I'll clean this up, but I want to pop this diaphragm open and see this diaphragm, because if that's cracked, that's probably what my main issue is.